Hello, this is Sherry Joy Collier coming to you today on my YouTube channel. Welcome. I wanted to take you through one of the videos I just recently did to remind you I created these two backgrounds on these small canvas boards using Indian turquoise, summer sky, and bright blue, just kind of mixing them all together and kind of a relaxed, loose fashion. And this one's a little lighter, as you can see. This one's a little darker. These are craft paints. So if you're just beginning, craft paints are really easy to work with and they're less expensive. They come in multitude of colors. So you can really do well to start with these. But as you progress, you may want to switch to tube paints. And here's an example of one. Golden is a brand that has very beautifully pigmented paints. And I'm going to, I think, choose this background, and we're gonna work on this a little bit here. I am gonna take my I can never pronounce this, quinacridone red, and I broke the cap, so I have a little saran wrap on top to keep it, hopefully to keep it from drying out. So I'm gonna get some quinacridone red on here, hopefully. Oh wow, that's a lot. I did not need all of that, but let's close it back up with the saran wrap. Okay, the other color that I'm going to, well, three colors. I'm gonna use a little bit of Indian yellow, and put that right there. And of course, white. I'm using all different brands today. I've got Artist Loft, and I don't even know what this one is. Daler Rowney. Not sure where I got that, but doesn't matter. It works. And then sap green. And I thought what I would do is just some simple roses today. Very simple. So let me get the cap back on here. There we go. I'm so grateful that you're joining me. And this is something that I love to do for fun, is make these backgrounds and then come back in, and usually flowers are my go-to subject matter. Not all the time. I love to do other things too. But for these kinds of backgrounds, I love to do flowers. Let me tell you a little bit about why I'm choosing these colors. So when you get out your color wheel, there's complementary colors, and you see this blue matches that. When you go directly across the wheel, you get orange. That's a complementary color. They look really good together. So I'm gonna kind of stay over here in this side of the color wheel for my roses today. They're not gonna be red, they're gonna be kind of a coral color. So I'm gonna get some of that red, and I'm gonna get some of this Indian yellow, and I'm gonna mix it up. And my first color is just gonna be this dark, I guess you would kind of call it an orangey red. So I'm just gonna get that all mixed in a little bit. Then I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna plan where I want my roses. So I think I'm going to put my biggest rose right here. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of a bowl shape right here for the bottom of my rose. And then in here, let's just go ahead and kind of put some hints of what's gonna happen. So this will be petals. Okay, so I'm just getting in kind of the hints of what's gonna happen. And then I'm gonna come up here. Let's come up here. And I'm gonna put a little, let's make it go out here. Just a little bud right there. And let's do another bud. I think I'll do a bud right down here as well. So just kind of putting a little oval shape in. And these flowers are going to be pretty loose and suggestive. So in other words, not necessarily hyper realistic or anything like that. And these are very, very fun to do. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is come in and bring my white, and I'm gonna mix my white in. And I'm gonna come and I'm gonna put some more petals on. And so there's gonna be a petal that kind of is right here in front. And it kind of just takes up like a lot of space there. I'm also gonna kind of bring a petal right out here. And here too. And then I'm gonna put one here. And then we'll kind of come lay down some of this brighter color right here. And then on the tips of these petals, we'll put this brighter color. And I'm going to put a petal right here. It kind of comes out and around. And I might go back in and grab some of that darker paint. Let's see if I can find some. I'm going to have to mix a little bit more. So let's grab some of that red, some of that yellow. Okay, come in and grab that darker color. And I'm just gonna really kind of get that nice bright color right around this center area. That gives us the hint of the center of the rose, as well as some down here. And as you can see, the blue is really showing through. So I'm gonna have to do several layers. Let's kind of come in and I'm going to redo a couple of these petals. And I'm going to put the darker color on the bottom of these petals. And I'm just kind of tapping it in now at this point. And then I'm gonna lighten up, excuse me, lighten up my coral color with some white. And I'm gonna bring in this strong light part to this petal again. I think I'm gonna do like a hint of another petal right there. And let's hit this. And then the tops of these petals, keep it kind of nice and bright on top of them, as if the sun is kind of coming maybe from that way. I'm gonna kind of let this dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna kind of bring some more white in, and I'm gonna go hit the buds. So let's put this nice lighter color right on top of that darker color. And then I want to make sure and keep my down here dark. So I'm just going to kind of tap in some of that darker color down here. Or kind of blend it in actually. So I'm grabbing some of that darker coral, just kind of blending that in a few spots. And if the sun's kind of coming from here, maybe there's a little bit more of the darkness there. Now let that dry for a little bit. I'm also letting that dry for a little bit. And I'm gonna rinse my brush real good. because these are very beautiful, bright colors. So hopefully I can get this. I might need to actually really take a paper towel to it this time and squeeze and get as much of that red out as I possibly can. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful and bright. But I don't want it in there for the leaves. So I'm gonna get that out of there. And we're gonna come in to our sap green. I'm gonna pull just a little bit of white and I'm gonna mix that in and get a real light sap green. The sap green will be for our stems. As you can see, I have a good bit of white that got on that side. And I don't want that to be so white. So I'm gonna come in with a little bit more sap green. And I'm gonna just lay that down. Kind of pull up around the sides of the bud. And sometimes roses have these little tendrils. And then I'm going to get a little bit of that pure sap green and just kind of pull that in under here. So I've got a few dots of it. Now I'll just kind of blend it. Blend those dots in a little bit. I just wanted to darken that up. Darken up that stem a bit. So I think I'm just going to take straight sap green. I'm going to do my stem for this one. And I'm going to also put this under. So there's a little bit of that thicker part of the rose right above the top of the stem there. Okay, there we go. And let's put in a stem for this bud as well. I think I'll just attach that one to that. Then why not put the leaves in while we're here? So I'm just going to go ahead and, let's see, trying to remember what rose leaves look like. I'm just going to kind of put some hints of some leaves. Okay, so we'll just do just a couple. And I'm going to leave them like that for the time being in that real dark green. And then we'll come over here and I'll kind of pull another leaf shape in. And leaves come, you see them from all different angles, so it doesn't matter. In fact, I'm going to put a little one right here. Just a little one. And it's just going to kind of hover there. And then I'm going to come over the tops of all of this with some lighter colors. So let's get one here. And we'll just kind of plop that one in. And let's plop one over here. So some different shapes and sizes of leaves going on. Okay, now I'm going to mix my white in. So I had some white over here. Let's mix it back in. I'm going to take a little bit more white and I'm going to hit the tops of these leaves. So just giving the highlights now. Again, kind of trying to imagine my sunshine's kind of coming from that angle. Alrighty, and sometimes you gotta get a lot of paint on my brush here. Sometimes you just gotta get some of it out. Okay, I'm gonna hit this top of that leaf. And the top of that leaf. Then I'm gonna come right into my white, and I'm just gonna tap. If the sun is kind of coming this way, I'm just gonna tap a little bit of white on that stem. Little bit of white just on the tops of the leaves. Not a ton. Maybe even here, little dab. Okay, and get a little bit dabbed in on this one. And I just got to get a little fresh white. And this one, the sun is going to hit this side. And the tops of that. The tops of that. So just kissing it with a little bit of a highlight. Let's do this stem a little. And a little bit on these. I'm gonna actually kind of smush that up into that leaf a little bit. Then I'm gonna come in with a little dark and hit that bottom of that leaf. And I don't like how much white came through. So I'm just gonna kind of take my green and go over that a little bit. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone for the time being, and I'm gonna come back into my water, really wash this green off, because I'm gonna turn my attention back to these roses. So now we come back to the roses, and we really bring in even lighter shade. So I'm gonna grab lots of white. I'm gonna grab, this red is so dry from being in that tube with the Saran Wrap. Okay, so I've got my nice pink here, very light pink. Then we're gonna take our little bit of yellow, Indian yellow, and mix that in and get our light peachy color. That's such a pretty color, so pretty, so purty. And then I'm just gonna kind of hit some of these petals. Okay, so we're just getting, again, kind of some of the tips of these. Sunshine's hitting. And here. I'm going to put a petal here. And again, I'm really trying to keep it so that the darkness is right around the top here. But I can bring that light color down a little bit if I want. Let's make sure we got plenty on here. I'm just kind of covering over some of this again. And I'm kind of thinking that I'd like to remix some of the darker color again. Okay, so let's remix. I've got white in my brush, so you can see that it's not going to be quite as dark. All right. That's a nice color right there. And I'm just gonna kind of come in and dab around here. I don't want it to be so dark in the center, but I definitely don't want it to be light either. And I'm gonna hit some of these bottoms of the leaves again. And if you're not careful, you can really start messing with your flowers too much, and then they just start to kind of get overworked. And I think I might be doing that now. So I'm just kind of putting this back in, and then I'm going to hit it with a lighter color. Okay, right here. Okay, and then we'll come back in again and we'll do our swoop on the top of that petal. Swoop down on that. Hit the top of that. And hit the top of that. Okay, I also need to hit the tops of these buds again. I'm just gonna kind of hit the side that I would imagine that the light is hitting. Not gonna do the whole bud, just part of it. I think I'm gonna leave those buds just the way they are. And I kind of want to put in maybe this this Indian yellow. Nope, don't like that. Let's go back in and mix the Indian yellow with the red and get a nice dark orange. Okay. And make sure kind of down here at the base of the flower that there's some shadow. Okay, let's let that breathe. In other words, I need to take a break and quit working it, and I need to see what it's going to turn out like, because these acrylics will dry darker. They absolutely will. So I'm just hitting some of these with even a lighter shade of white. And I'm kind of letting it mix in just a little bit with what's under there. Okay. Just hitting this one too. A little bit of that light. Okay, I'm gonna let that be pretty much done. And I will come back to it when it's all dry and see if it's looking the way that I want it to look. And if not, I can add or completely paint over and see if I like it from that. But you see the beautiful complementary colors here. I think that background is perfect for this color of a rose. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you again on the next one.